Apple was once untouchable, the most valuable company on earth, a trillion-dollar symbol of innovation, elegance, and dominance. But in just a few short years, it slipped, first to second place, then third. Microsoft and Nvidia surged ahead.
Nvidia has already been the world's most valuable semiconductor firm, but now it's also become the first ever computer chip company to hit a market cap of $3 trillion. It has also overtaken Apple to be the second most valuable company in the world after Microsoft.
Apple lost over $1.1 trillion in market value. But this isn't just about numbers, it's about identity. About how a company that once defined the future became a prisoner of its own success. And of China. This is the story of Apple, how it rose, how it ruled, and how it got captured. In 1976, two young men, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, built a computer in a garage. Jobs was the visionary, obsessed with simplicity and design. Wozniak was the engineer, brilliant and eccentric. Together they created the Apple I, a bare-bones machine that sparked a revolution. They weren't trying to build a trillion-dollar company. They just wanted to make computers personal. Apple grew fast. The Apple II became a hit. Then came the Macintosh, the first computer with a graphical interface and a mouse. It was bold, different, and ahead of its time. But internal politics and poor sales led to Jobs being ousted from his own company in 1985. Apple wandered without him. Too many products, no clear vision. By the mid-90s, it was bleeding money and losing relevance. In 1997, Apple was on the brink of collapse. That's when Steve Jobs returned. He didn't just bring ideas, he brought focus. He slashed the product line from dozens to just 4. He introduced the iMac, a colorful all-in-one computer that looked like nothing else on the market. Then came the iPod, then iTunes, then the iPhone. Each product wasn't just a hit, it redefined its category. The iPhone, launched in 2007, changed everything. It wasn't just a phone. It was a camera, a music player, a computer in your pocket. Apple became a cultural force, a status symbol.
Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device.
A design icon. Jobs had turned Apple into the most admired company in the world.
iPhone.
In 2011, Steve Jobs passed away. Tim Cook, Apple's COO, stepped into the CEO role. Cook was different. He wasn't a product guy. He was a supply chain genius. Under his leadership, Apple became a financial powerhouse.
Milestone for the top man at Apple. CEO Tim Cook marks his 5th year anniversary at the helm of the world's most valuable company.
Profits soared. Stock buybacks began. Dividends were introduced.
The big buzz on the street today, of course, is Apple, the world's most valuable company, has divulged plans for its $98 billion of cash. The company has announced a dividend for its shareholders in the 4th quarter of 2012 and a buyback program worth $10 billion.
Wall Street loved it. But something else changed. Innovation slowed. The iPhone started looking the same year after year. Prices went up, and Apple's dependence on China deepened. Apple's relationship with China began long before Cook, but under his leadership, it became absolute.
An ABC News exclusive. For the first time ever, a journalist was allowed inside the secret factory in China where Apple iPhones and iPads are made.
Most of Apple's products are assembled in China, primarily by Foxconn. The scale is staggering. Millions of iPhones produced every week. No other country can match that speed, efficiency, or cost. China offered cheap labor, skilled manufacturing, government support, infrastructure built for scale. It built a supply chain so deeply rooted in China that it became nearly impossible to move. But this dependency came with strings. As US-China tensions grew, Apple found itself in a delicate position. It couldn't afford to upset Beijing, not when its products were made there, and its market depended on Chinese consumers. So Apple made compromises. Removed apps from the App Store at China's request. Stored Chinese user data on local servers. Avoided public criticism of Chinese policies. Critics say Apple traded its values for access. And while the company insists it's simply following local laws, the line between compliance and complicity has blurred. Apple, once a symbol of Western innovation, now looked like a company caught in China's orbit. From 2016 to 2024, Apple's product lineup barely changed. iPhones looked the same. iPads and MacBooks saw minor updates. Siri, once a pioneer, fell behind. Apple tried to catch up with Apple Intelligence, its own AI platform.
Your iPhone is the most personal product in your life. It's part of so many things that make you, you. Now, we're bringing together that personal context with the power of generative models to deliver intelligence that understands you.
But the launch was rushed. Features were delayed. Some demos were reportedly staged. Lawsuits followed.
Apple's getting sued again. Remember, Apple's big push for their iPhone 16 series was the Apple Intelligence angle. That it could do new, cool Siri AI things that just don't actually exist. They hired famous people to promote it, even though, again, it never worked for real people.
Meanwhile, Microsoft, Google, and Meta raced ahead in AI. Apple, once the leader, was now chasing the pack.
How much was the stock buyback? 20-some billion dollars, 30-some billion dollars, 40, 60 billion dollars, 70 billion dollars, 100 billion dollars. When do you spend 100 billion dollars on a stock?
Apple had the cash to innovate, over 150 billion. But instead of investing in research, it spent billions on stock buybacks. In 2024 alone, Apple spent $110 billion buying its own stock, more than triple what it spent on R&D. Internally, engineers felt ignored. Designers felt sidelined. The company's culture shifted from product first to profit first. Apple wasn't failing because it lacked talent. It was failing because it stopped listening to them.
Earlier this week, it was confirmed that Apple signed a $275 billion deal with China to help them build new technology and bring up new talent in the tech world. They will invest that money across 5 years, and for that, China will continue to allow Apple to sell its products in their market and help them where they can.
Apple's dependence on China became more than just a business strategy. It became a vulnerability.
China has full Apple stores where they're selling counterfeit laptops, phones, everything. Nothing was Apple.
When the AI team requested $10 billion to double their chip capacity, finance blocked it. That same year, Apple spent $77 billion on buybacks. Apple didn't own its AI infrastructure. It had to rent cloud space from Google, its competitor. It wasn't just behind in AI, it was behind in control. The company that once built everything in-house now relied on others, especially China, to stay afloat. By 2025, Apple's value had dropped by 28%. It was no longer the most valuable company. Microsoft and Nvidia had taken the lead. The Vision Pro flopped. Siri remained outdated. Apple Intelligence was delayed again. The company that once led the world in innovation now felt like it was reacting, not leading. And behind it all, China remained the backbone of Apple's empire. A trillion-dollar company built on a supply chain it no longer controlled. There is a lot more to know about Apple. So subscribe and hit the bell icon for more brand tales. I'd see you again next time.